Good evening, VV Nation. My name is Ryan. Always a pleasure doing these 6 p.m. videos. Welcome to the channel, especially if you're new. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. So that way, we can try to keep you on the right side of the market. Now, here at VectorVest, we've been talking about it for a while, right? We look at the homepage. We analyze the trends of the market. We try to avoid the noise, right? We know there's a lot of noise in the market. I saw the news on tariffs. China, retaliates, and now the EU stepping up the plate. I believe those tariffs going around April 14th or 15th. I'll have to check that out. But that being said, I did do a video a couple weeks ago, when to hedge. That played out very nicely. Now going forward, I do see some very pivotal, levels in the cues, especially if you're bottom fishing in tech or, thinking about bottom fishing. A little early in my opinion, but I do want to show you these levels, show you exactly where we can find some optimism and some key pivots when it comes to tech stocks in general. Also, on top of that, I've said it over the last several weeks, I firmly believe that buying the dip in gold, precious metals, silver, being the better choice in current market conditions. I see the gold stocks on a soar. So tonight's presentation, if you're thinking about buying gold, if you're thinking about buying the dip on gold, because that's really the only space or one of the few spaces showing upside momentum other than just outright shorting stocks in general. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and dive into the VectorVest 7 system. We're going to take a look at the cues. We're going to take a look at some of the top gold stocks in the VectorVest 7 software and see if there's any money to be made in today's market.
Hey VV Nation, I'm Glenn.
And I'm Ryan. We've got a special event coming next month, May 1st. We're finally hitting the road. Now, we will be hosting some live streams. Tell them a little bit about the live streams we'll be doing.
We're gonna have the Stock Analysis Power Hour. Ryan will host that. Bring your stocks, let Ryan break them down for you. I'll also do a live stream called Trending Thursday. That's where we go through, look at what's going on in the market, what's going on in the news, and we analyze stocks. We also have a live presentation for those people who will be attending live as well. What's that, Ryan?
Now, we do have the presentation titled Unlocking the Secrets of Financial Success. Now, to register for free and get the details, just go to vectorvest.com/roadshow. All right, here's the chart of the cues. Now, I will say this, right now we're looking at end of day data, right? So each one of these candlesticks represents a single day. Now, that being said, with that information, look at these 2 green lines I have here. This is the level support I'm looking at. We have to go back far in time, and these levels are coming back from 2021. That's just how much the market has sold off. But look, once I see this, we can see we're seeing some buying pressure here, right? Trying to, stabilize. The market is trying to look for a bottom. We can already tell that with our BSRs and MTI at such suppressed levels. Now, if I zoom in to a 6-month time span, I can draw a trend line from the top end. If I do see any kind of optimism in the market, any kind of rally take place, I would look for rejection at this trend line here. As we go forward in time, this trend line will make its way into the resistance levels I see in the cues right now, which is around 460 to about 447. So I would look at that as a rejection if you do some bottom fishing, if we do see any kind of rally here, potentially taking profits at a great time. Now I'm going to look at this at a different perspective. Let's change this to a 5-year chart. And this is going to go to a weekly chart here. And we can see that the 200-day moving average, this line that I had here before, adjusted according to the weekly candlesticks. Look where the 200-day is coming in, right at my level support here, right in the zone. Again, that's around 413 to about 387 on the weekly chart. The bottom of the zone and the moving average right now coming around 383. Currently, the market sits at 421. Think about it. We've got CPI data. We've got big earnings come out. Taiwan semiconductor reports next week. And we all know that the tariffs just started, so the pressure on prices hasn't even started to affecting consumers quite yet. So I do see the potential for, another low to take place, but I think we are getting close to that low. So I just want to put this on your radar when you're thinking about, bottom fishing, taking nibbles on good quality tech companies. Just look at these cues, look at these levels here. But you can see as of right now, there is finally some buying pressure because the candlesticks before, look at this, full-bodied red candlesticks filled in the last 2 weeks. This week, we did get an upper wick here. We're seeing some buying pressure with an open-bodied candlestick. So there are things I do see when it comes to optimism. Obviously, news and tariffs, that will play a role. And as these items progress, I will do my best to try to keep you on the right side of the market. Now let's just jump to the VectorVest composite. Again, this looks like the broad market here. My current level of support, we are flirting in that level right now. You can see that's on the weekly chart as well. The top of that around $60, the bottom being around $59 even. Currently sitting right in the middle of that, $60.16. Any kind of optimism, I want to see a close. I see the upper wick here breaking about to the upside, but that looks like rejection as of right now. Now, if I see a breakout to the downside of this support level, yes, I might, consider opening up, more short positions, contra ETFs, hedging my portfolio with options, things of that nature. But if we can hold off this level here, this might just be the bottom for the market, but we will see. We're getting close. Hopefully we're getting close here. But again, it's really determined by how geopolitical concerns develop going into 2025. Now, the last item I did want to show you before we get to the gold stock is going to be the Russell 2000. You can see we were looking at this over the last 5 years here. Let's drag this out a little bit more. We see the small cap companies here not making a lot of progress. If I just use a horizontal line, I'm going to take the top of this row right here. You see a touch here from the bottom, some consolidation, level support here. Looks like the Russell wants to utilize this as a level support, maybe treat it like a zone here as well. So if you're thinking about, bottom fishing on small cap companies in general, based on the chart here, it does look like we are approaching a nice level of support. Now, with this information in hand, again, buying the dip right now is a little early in my opinion, but let's focus on what's working in a dip that I have been talking about for several weeks. I feel much more confident in being gold stocks. Now, these are the top mining stocks in the VectorVest 7 software. Look at the results today. Harmony Gold leading the charge at the top of the list, up 9%. Not a single red stock in the list here. Let me continue to scroll down. Yes, all positive territory except for this one right here, PMNXF. Now, as I scroll back up, a lot of well-known names here. We got Harmony, Orla, Kinross Gold. A lot of our subscribers have been talking about these stocks. They're still showing momentum to the upside. Look at the RT, the relative timing, short-term price trend. All favorable ratings. It's really hard to find RTs above 1 in the tech space. That's why I'm focusing on the spaces that are working. And look at this. Look at the forecasted data. I don't see a negative number in sight. Double digits across the board here when it comes to both sales forecasted data and the growth rate in earnings. Now let's go ahead and break down the top 10 stocks when it comes to mining silver and gold. First up, Harmony Gold. Lower left, upper right. The last dip we experienced here, finding level support right at the highs back in February. You see the swing high here. Look at the momentum right now. You can see the gap up, bringing price action back in the fast lane. That's above the upper Bollinger Band here. So I'd like this position, and we're seeing momentum. Now, the only thing I will say, even though we got gapped up, we do have a full-bodied candlestick right now. So I would like to see a little bit more optimism for just pulling the trigger. Next up, we've got Orla Mining. Nice open candlestick here. Price action also crossing above that 20-day EMA. But look, overall, lower left to upper right. This is what's working in the market right now. As I continue to scroll down, Kinross Gold, same scenario here. Actually just hit a new 3-month high as of this morning. But we do have an upper wick here, so look for any kind of rejection. You can see coming off around the prior swing high here. But overall, the moving averages now in our favor. Price action back in the fast lane. That's why I was saying the dip in gold, I just saw a little bit quicker recovery than what I'm seeing in tech, which, tech is still having a rough day. But that being said, look, price action again, back above the 20-day EMA, lower left, upper right. This is Eagle Mines, AEN. We also got AU, Anglo Gold here. Again, look at the dip here. Nice. You can see the levels I put in around 33.63 to about 33.60. Price action found a level of support. Now back above the 20-day EMA. If you're looking for confirmation, just wait for it to get back in the fast lane. That'll put the price above today's upper wick, giving confirmation for the bulls. Now, this is also another beautiful chart here. Very little volatility until the last few trading sessions. But again, price action leveling off here, holding at a level support. This price action is below the 20-day EMA, so I'm not too optimistic compared to some of the others right now. So I'd like to see a little bit more upside confirmation before pulling the trigger there. GFI or Goldfields, again, same price action. Looks like the candlestick also closed today. So I'd want to buy this stock on an up day, but the 8-day did remain above the 20-day EMA, just showing some momentum for the bulls to the upside. Now here's Alamos Gold. This one I really like. Look, open candlestick here. We see the upper wick. A lot of the gold stocks are showing that today. But coming in at $26, we value the stock at $29.38. The company is undervalued, so I do like what I see there. And if we notice over to the right, we can see the forecasted data on all of these positions I mean, these are phenomenal numbers here when it comes to the forecasted data. This one, the sales growth rate, 313%. Look at this nice body candlestick today. We do have an upper wick here, but the price action is above that 20-day EMA. So I do see the optimism there. Now, if I continue to scroll down, we got the last stock here, IAG. Nice open candlestick, large upper wick, just like the other positions. Again, I'd like to see price action get in the fast lane, just confirming the momentum. Just confirming momentum before I pull the trigger. Now, I hope you found this video informative, and I hope showing you some of these gold stocks you found useful when to try to make money. Because let's be honest, the only other way to really make money in this market right now is becoming a bear and playing to the downside. Now, again, my name is Ryan. I hope you found the video informative. If you did, make sure you like it, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you tomorrow evening.